The Formula One world never stops moving, and even after a long and intense season, all eyes are already turning to the future. And the biggest question on everyone's mind is, what is Max Verstappen going to do? For years, Red Bull Racing looked like an unbreakable fortress, with victory after victory and championship after championship. But lately, that fortress is starting to show some serious cracks. Important people are leaving the team, and there are big questions about how competitive Red Bull will be with the new rules in 2026. All of this leads to the inevitable question: is Max Verstappen about to leave Red Bull? Let's take a closer look at what is really going on. It started with a few rumours, but by now it is a real exodus at Red Bull. The most recent and perhaps most painful blow is the departure of Dr. Helmut Marko. After more than 20 years of loyal service, the motorsport advisor is stepping down at the end of 2025. Marko was not just any advisor. He was the man who discovered Max Verstappen, gave him his Formula One debut, and was always his biggest supporter within the team. For Max, Marko was a mentor and a trusted confidant. His departure is a huge loss, not only for the team, but especially for Max personally. And this was not the first shock. In July 2025, team boss Christian Horner, after 20 years at the helm, was pushed out. And as if that was not enough, the technical mastermind Adrian Newey, the man behind all of Red Bull's championship cars, left in May 2024 to join Aston Martin. Other important figures, like sporting director Jonathan Wheatley and head of strategy Will Courtney, have also left the team. You can imagine that this is causing huge unrest within the team. The people who made Red Bull great are no longer there. This is not just a few people leaving. It is the heart and soul of the team being ripped out. The stability and winning mentality that Red Bull had for so many years are now at stake. It is not just about the technical knowledge that is disappearing, but also about the culture of the team. A winning team is like a well-oiled machine where everyone knows exactly what they need to do. When you remove important parts from that machine, the whole thing can break down. This exodus is happening at a very critical moment. In 2026, the rules in Formula One are going to be completely turned upside down. The cars will be different, the aerodynamics will be different, and most importantly, the engines will be different. And here is perhaps the biggest risk for Red Bull. For the first time in their history, they are going to build their own engine under the name Red Bull Powertrains. This is a massive and very risky undertaking. Building a competitive and reliable Formula One engine is one of the hardest things in motorsport. While teams like Mercedes and Ferrari have been building their own engines for decades, this is completely new territory for Red Bull. If you combine this with the departure of so many technical experts, then it is no wonder that there are big doubts about whether Red Bull can even build a winning car in 2026. The competition is not standing still, and with the new rules, everyone starts from zero again. It is a perfect storm of uncertainty. And in Formula One, uncertainty is the biggest enemy of success. Teams that are at the top are there because they are stable and have a clear vision. At Red Bull, that vision seems to be missing right now. The departure of the Austrian side of the management, with the death of founder Dietrich Mateschitz, and now the departure of Marko, and the internal power struggle that followed, has weakened the team. The focus seems to have shifted from winning on the track to playing politics behind the scenes. So what does all this mean for Max Verstappen? Max is a winner. He wants just one thing, and that is to become world champion. He has a contract with Red Bull until the end of 2028, but there is an important clause in that contract. If the team is not competitive enough, he can leave in 2027. The rumours say that this clause kicks in if he is not in the top 3 of the championship after a certain point in the season. Max has said that he is loyal to Red Bull and that he will race for the team in 2026. But what happens if the Red Bull engine is not good enough in 2026? Will he stay stuck with a team that cannot win while he is in the prime of his career? The chances are small. Max wants to win, and if he cannot do that at Red Bull, he will look elsewhere. The departure of Helmut Marko will only make that decision easier. The man who always protected and supported him is gone. Loyalty has taken a big hit, and in the harsh world of Formula One, loyalty is often only as strong as the performance of the car. If the car is not good enough, then loyalty will quickly disappear. Max is at the peak of his career. He cannot afford to waste 2 or 3 years in a car that cannot win. His legacy as one of the greatest drivers ever is at stake. If Max decides to leave, where would he go? There are 2 teams that are mentioned the most: Mercedes and Aston Martin. Mercedes is probably the most logical choice. Toto Wolff, the boss of Mercedes, has never hidden that he is a big admirer of Max. He has already flirted openly several times with the idea of bringing Max to his team. For 2026, this could be a dream marriage. Mercedes is a factory team with a huge history of building dominant engines. With the new engine rules of 2026, that is a massive advantage. The move would be similar to the shock that Lewis Hamilton caused when he left McLaren for Mercedes, or more recently, his move to Ferrari. It would turn the entire Formula One world upside down. It would be a transfer that would completely change the power dynamics in the sport. Mercedes would in one stroke be the team to beat again, and the combination of Max Verstappen and Mercedes would seem almost unstoppable. With George Russell as a teammate, Mercedes would have a lineup that combines both experience and youthful talent, a winning formula for the future. But there is another serious candidate: Aston Martin. At first glance, that might seem like a less logical move, but if you look closer, you can see why it would be a smart choice. Aston Martin is extremely ambitious and has deep pockets thanks to owner Lawrence Stroll. They have been busy recently poaching top talent from Red Bull. Adrian Newey and Jonathan Wheatley are already working there. Furthermore, Aston Martin has a deal with Honda for the engines in 2026. He has an excellent relationship with the people at Honda. A reunion with Newey and Honda at a team that is doing everything to reach the top. That sounds like a golden combination, does it not? It would be a team built around Max, with the best people in the sport. A team that has just one goal: to become world champion. And with the financial power of Lawrence Stroll, there is no limit to what they can achieve. For Max, this would be the chance to shape a team and start a new era, just like Michael Schumacher once did at Ferrari. The conclusion is clear: Red Bull is at a crossroads. The departure of so many key figures, with the farewell of Helmut Marko being the low point, has created enormous uncertainty. Add to that the risky adventure of their own engine project for 2026, and you have a situation where the future of the team is uncertain. Max Verstappen has tied his fate to Red Bull for 2026, but after that, everything is up for grabs. The 2026 season will be the year of truth. What do you think? Can Red Bull survive this exodus and build another top car in 2026? And which team would be the best choice for Max if he leaves? Let us know in the comments. The coming months will be crucial for the future of Red Bull and Max Verstappen. We will follow it all closely and keep you updated on the latest developments. One thing is certain: the Formula One world is on the eve of one of the most exciting periods in years. The transfer market for 2027 will be completely defined by the choice of one man, Max Verstappen. And that choice will shape the sport for years to come.